Hi, Facebook, Kara, the Blonde Unicorn, and I am hanging out with Connie tonight, one of the creators of Chai Tea and Chai High Tea. That's a lot to get out without falling over your tongue. So we're going to hang out for a few minutes while people join us, and I am going to share via my mobile device.
Perfect.
I mean, I could always just share it from the laptop, but I never do. I always go to my phone. I don't know why I do that.
Maybe it's because then you're not looking at the two windows at the same time or something. I don't know.
Oh, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably. That, and also I always have my phone up because there's a lag in comments between Facebook and Be Live. And so that way I'm at least honestly seeing it, because otherwise I don't think I see it, and it's a mess.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other day we did an interview and it didn't get recorded. Parts of it got chopped off, or Facebook.
No!
It wasn't the fault of anybody, just Facebook, stopped working for whatever reason. So, yeah, then we had to go back and record. And
that's the worst. Way to go, Facebook.
Yeah.
Man, that's the worst.
I love your headset, by the way.
Thank you. Brian got it for me 2 months ago, a month ago or something, because I was wearing his gaming one. So then he found this one. But since then, people have been like, why didn't you get one with a unicorn horn? And they have them with unicorn horns. And I was like, dang it.
Oh, you should get them going up there.
Yes. Okay, so I do have some foam unicorn horns because I'm supposed to be making multiple horns, because I have that really pretty one. But maybe I'll just take one, since I have a package of 5, and do it all up and then just super glue it to the top here. That would be quite the fashion statement.
An awesome idea. Yep.
Right.
And maybe put in
some glitter sparkles, but what if I got one of those battery operated packs of lights and just wrap lights up on it? I'd have to figure out a way. This is getting so intense. Figure out a way to balance the battery pack on my head, but I feel like it would be totally worth it.
Just don't electrocute yourself.
Yes, don't electrocute myself, because that would be I would probably laugh if I electrocuted myself, but I don't think Brian would laugh about it.
No, probably not.
No, because he'd have to deal with me I got electrocuted. Oh, Brian said maybe not super glue it. But maybe I should super glue it, Brian.
I think super glue works, right?
Yeah, just super glue the horn on there, unless he means don't super glue it so we can interchange the unicorn horns. Oh,
there we go.
That's it. I knew it. That's what he's going for.
So Velcro, like a Velcro dot, and then you just swap it out every time.
Oh, Connie, you're a thinker. I love this. I love this. There we go, Brian. That's what I'm doing with all those unicorn horns. Perfect. Oh, Katie says this is too funny. Thanks, Katie. We're a delight over here. Okay, so this is episode 15 of Ladies in Tabletop, and I can't believe I'm already on episode 15, but thank you so much, Connie, for hanging out with me. This is awesome. I'm very excited to talk about your game, Chai High Tea. So fun random story here. So your husband and I were on a live stream a year and a half ago, maybe. And so I knew about your game back then, but I hadn't met you, so now we get to meet.
Yay! Yeah, I'm the person behind the scenes. Usually, I don't get to go to cons during the school year since I'm teaching, so he gets to have all the fun and eat all the food and meet all the people. So, like yourself.
But hey, so maybe this next school year, since it's going to be a hybrid of online or whatnot, maybe you can come to a convention and just sit in the corner during the day and teach, and then hang out with us.
That's true. That would be amazing. And it's life learning, taking the kids around, right? I could even teaching.
Right? You could figure out a lesson to attach to it, I don't know, do a math thing. This convention room is how many feet by how many feet? How many booths can fit in this building. Like, I don't know. I'm not a teacher, but
no, that's amazing. Actually, it's getting the gears turning.
Right? I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Katie, Rachel's here now. Oh man, this is a party. I love it. And no, Brian cannot keep me on topic ever. He gave up in life and always keep on topic. Okay. So, what got you into wanting to design a tabletop game?
Yeah, so I was a tea collector before I was a board game collector. I had like tons and tons of bags of tea, and somehow it's
awesome.
Even more, right? Since we did this. But yeah, so then Daniel and I played lots of different games, and I played lots of games with a group of friends before I even met him. And then one day we were working on a submarine game. Just, dabbing in the industry, kind of having fun, just very casual. And then, one day on the way home from Edmonton, Daniel was like, oh, I should make a tea game. And so he came home, pitched it to me, and I was like, oh my goodness, have you seen my
You're like, I'm here for this. I have all the tea for inspiration.
So that's kind of, we did it. I'm usually the person to say no to ideas. Like, he has all the ideas, and then I'm like, that's no. It's not gonna happen. So
that is Brian and I, except for he's the one saying no.
Yeah. There we go. So Daniel likes to say that he's the balloon and I'm the string. So even in designing, that's kind of how we function.
Okay.
Yeah, so he put some ideas together, and then I was like, okay, this will work, this won't work, whatever. And we got a prototype together. I think it took us maybe about 3 weeks, and then we launched the print and play out into the world. We put it up on the
so quick.
Yeah, so it was a little crazy. I mean, obviously, after the print and play went out into the wild, and then Kickstarter, it took like another 6 months of kind of working and refining and getting feedback. But yeah, it was a little wild.
I love it. I'm so impressed that you made a game in a month. Like, I can't wrap my mind around that. That's so fast.
It was pretty rough, I would say, the first version. But
I mean, it always is. But that's why you get it out to game testers, so they can help you, get it back in and focus. And
totally.
make it not like so a lot. Ooh, Angelica says hi, Connie.
Hi,
Angelica. I love it.
That's cool. I don't usually do solo interviews, so this is like awesome.
Like, after this, you're gonna be like, I got this. I can do all of them.
Yeah.
Tell him no. I love it. Okay, so you kind of answered the next question on how did you decide on a tea themed game? You love tea. You love tea. I love it.
Tea. But I didn't know how little I knew about tea until we started doing chai. So I've always been like a herbal tea collector. I had lots of rooibos. And then we did chai, and people are like, rooibos isn't a tea. And I was like, oh, shoot, it's not. It's like actually like a different, I don't know, species, I guess, altogether. It's like a different plant. And
I had like no idea what's happening. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So then we bought a tea book and we had to learn. And so
did you at least get to taste all the different types of tea?
We have a lot. I think it was last summer or the summer before, Connie and Sons, the big tea company, they made us tea influencers. And then they sent us like tons and tons and tons of tea. So
that's awesome.
I know. So we like literally every day we try to try a different kind of tea just to mix it up. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
I can't think of her name. There's this YouTuber, and I think it's that same tea. She's a brand, like a brand ambassador for, and she does these videos where she will sit in the tea, like in her bathtub for an hour. And sometimes it's hot tea and sometimes it's cold tea. But she sits in it for an hour, and I'm like, you're wasting all the tea. But like, cool that you want to do that, but you're wasting all of it. Wouldn't you want to drink the tea?
And then she's not steeping it properly if it's in like lukewarm water.
Yeah, like in a bathtub, and she's like fully clothed, and like she just talks. It's the girl who does her nails. She's also Canadian.
Oh, so she's not sitting in like actual tea and water.
She is. She's like sitting in a bathtub full of water, and she puts a bunch of the tea in it.
That's so
interesting. And then it's weird because like she's fully dressed, like got her leggings on and like a t-shirt, and like if I remember correctly, I think there were socks involved.
Kate, I'm gonna have to look this up.
Oh my gosh, Megan, if you are watching, because I watched this video with you, the holo taco chick, if you can help us find the link to that video and pop it in the comments, that'd be awesome.
That's amazing.
I love how far off the rails this just went, but
it's awesome.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, so question for you then, since you like tea. So like a chai tea latte.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, a latte means coffee.
Right.
But it has chai tea in front of it, so that there's no coffee?
There is no coffee. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. There are ones that do have coffee, but most of them, like 99% of them, don't have coffee. So it's just chai tea. Usually it's like Starbucks or whatever, they like steep it in water and then they add the milk in after. But then proper chai tea lattes or whatever, like you should actually boil it in the milk with the spices. So I've done that a few times and it's amazing. It just changes the whole game.
So fancy.
It's so good.
Like it just makes me want to go to like a cool local little coffee shop and get a chai tea latte and be like, I'm fancy.
Yeah, I'm so fancy. Or fancy. Lattes, yes. Like London Fog, I guess. Those are good too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much like any tea, I feel fancy. Even when I'm having like iced tea that I made at home, I'm like, I'm fancy.
There you go. Aw, and Daniel just made me tea.
Oh, that's awesome. Way to go, Dana.
Oh, it's puer.
It's what?
It's puer. It's a fermented tea.
Puer?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Oh, I always mess it up. It's PU'REH, I think. I think somebody else maybe in the comments can correct.
Yes.
Oh,
Katie says this is why we watch. She enjoys me going off topic. And Brian again goes, I'm here to make sure Kara somewhat talks about games. I promise I'll get to it, Brian.
That's awesome.
One day. One day. Okay, well, I didn't even know that there was like fermented tea.
There is, yeah.
So many things I don't know about.
Water to it, I think. I'm not the expert for sure on fermented tea, but they add water to it and then let it ferment, and it's just like, wine or cheese or whatever. Like after it sits for a while, it gets better. So puer tea, you can actually brew it. I think it's 10 times. And and it's the same tea leaf. So the ones that Daniel just brewed me are from yesterday. I think we just kept pouring water into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's still
good. So fancy,
right?
Yeah, so fancy. I love that you love tea so much, because I feel like the fact that you love it and you want to try all these different types of tea probably helps you with the game to like making all the different types of tea.
Totally.
See, tie the game, Brian.
There we go. So that's the funny part. In base chai, we basically went into it. We had, robust included in the other 5 that are actual like teas. So then people are like, oh, but rooibos isn't a tea. And so when we went back and did Tea for Two, which isn't launched yet or anything, but that's our 2-player that will probably come out, I don't know, in 6-ish months. But in Tea for Two, we're like, okay, we got to get it right this time. Make sure all the teas are actually teas and not, other types of tea that I just happen to love, but are not actually from the tea plant. So so that was like a big thing, and we made sure it was right, and all the tea lovers are happy. So
that's awesome. You guys are so like smart in all this. I love it.
Thanks. I think
Yes, this is definitely, yes.
it is a
Keep up the good work.
perfect.
So as a lady,
Yes.
how have people treated you in the industry, at conventions and on the internet and like at your local game shop and all that jazz?
Totally. I think for me, it's a little bit different than maybe some other lady designers, just because Daniel and I work so closely together. So often I would say, especially at industry events, we're going together as a couple. So I think, I think that experience does change a little bit because it's both of us. I think it's interesting at conventions, definitely, because you'll look around and it's so predominantly male at booths or whatever. And
let's be real, it's male white dudes. A lot of male white dudes.
I wasn't going to say it, but
white dudes, everybody. Let's not mask it.
Yeah. So it's interesting, like for sure, as a woman, you just feel a little like fish out of water because everybody else, it is such a male industry in that sense. And I do realize, like, working as a couple, there's a bit of privilege there too, because Daniel does handle more of the business side of things. And, guys will feel comfortable talking to him or whatever, right? And I think that's different if I was working by myself and I didn't have him in this. So, so I hope that kind of answers it. Like it's an interesting dynamic because I'm not by myself, and I think there's privilege in that for sure.
I haven't really thought about it, but you definitely hit it on the head because Brian and I go together. Yeah. And I don't. Yeah, like I know other people have had different experiences that I have not had, and it's probably because Brian is real tall and has resting angry face. So like. People are scared of him, and I'm like, doop, 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 following behind him in like all my pink.
Yeah.
So like, no one's gonna say anything because I got this big, tall, angry face dude. So yeah, I guess it is a bit of privilege, and I never really thought about that.
Yeah, I think that's the way I've kind of pieced it together. It's interesting too, like on the other flip side, like talking about more the BIPOC side, like I'll have random manufacturers come up and talk to me because I am Asian and my Mandarin sucks. It's terrible, but I'll like try to, like engage them a little bit on that and whatever. So it's interesting, like as a female and as a BIPOC, like, but then also as part of a couple, there's so many different dynamics going on for that. It's an interesting place. I think I'm in a very special niche in the industry.
Probably.
Things going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, right, probably. Michael says Brian is a puppy. I mean, once you get to know Brian, he is definitely a puppy. But initially, that angry face. Hey, Megan, I see that you're now watching. So you missed earlier where we were talking about the holo taco chick that was sitting in a bathtub full of tea. So if you could link that video in the comments, that'd be awesome. Okay, thanks, Megan. Also, I love Facebook for telling me that you're watching. Big brother.
What's it called again? Holo taco?
Holo taco. You can't tell, but I have it on my nails. So there's kind of like holographic. And it's called Unicorn Skin. And it's her brand of nail polish.
Whoa.
Okay, and then
on brand. You've got the thing.
I'm so on brand all the time. Okay, but like fun random side story. So she obviously makes nail polishes, and she has one of the bases called Peely Base, and it peels off.
Oh, cool.
And it is very satisfying. It was on my toes. And I peeled it off. Remember like you're a little girl and they had like the peely nail polish? Oh, yes, that's what it is. Megan says she'll get it linked momentarily. Thank you, Megan.
Are you going to play it live? Is that possible? I don't know if it is.
I don't know how to do that. I'm not that fancy yet. But like tomorrow, like later, not tomorrow, but like later, like watch it. And I'm sure you'll be like, wow, this girl's wasting a lot of tea. And I'm like, that was a lot of tea.
Michael's a Sky ambassador. She could like hold the game.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Oh, that's a great idea. like this. And she likes tea, and she always has a tea in her videos. But then she like hold the tea in a bathtub full of tea, holding your game about tea.
Whoa. So meta.
So many things. Oh, and then she can get a shirt that's like about tea. I like they were planning out like this lady's whole like one video, having never met her. She did a pool full of tea recently. Oh no, Megan. Oh, that's awesome.
I hope it's bad tea. Like I hope it's like disgusting old tea. But you're right. Like, ooh.
Yeah. I feel like it's like not old tea that she's doing this to.
Oh no.
But Michael said Connie and Daniel are great. I look forward to meeting Connie one day. If you haven't met Michael, he is delightful. You're gonna love him.
Which Michael is this?
Michael Petrie.
Oh, that Michael. Yes.
From Pentry Games, and I love Christina and their little one Alexander is the cutest.
So talented.
I know. I'm like kind of like
amazing.
A little bit of that talent because she's
right.
So
I know. She's amazing. She actually has a chai picture in their game. Like she put.
Yes, I remember that. Right? Yeah, and I was like, this is awesome. I love it.
No, I'm so.
Megan says that it's David's tea. Have you heard that brand, David's?
Yes, I know. I have tons. They were actually the ones that started my tea addiction. Like I'm looking over and there's like awesome. It's just sitting on my table right over there.
I love it. Just all the tea.
So she put David's tea in her pool?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And that's like specifically her favorite brand of tea. And she did 2 bathtub ones and apparently a pool full of tea.
Oh my goodness.
I hope it's like a small kiddie pool, not like a big giant pool.
I know, I keep imagining it's like a giant pool. Have you seen those? Oh, I'm going on a tangent now.
Okay, let's go there.
Okay, the videos where they like fill up an entire pool with Jello and then people jump into it.
Have you seen the one where they did it with Orbeez? They filled up a giant pool, like a
normal
pool, and then the whole backyard. And I was like,
yeah.
I feel like Orbeez are very bad for the environment. Like, I don't understand how they work. But then, like, you put them everywhere, and they got giant. They can't be good.
Yeah.
Also, it would suck trying to get those out of the pool.
The cleanup, yeah.
Oh, the cleanup would be terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, Megan says it's a big pool. Ooh, no.
I know. Oh.
The blue blow-up ring pools? No.
Oh, those. Okay. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. I was thinking like in-ground, like massive Olympic.
Yeah.
Size. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine if it was an Olympic-sized pool? That would be so much tea.
Like a truck just comes and dumps the tea.
This is so bad. Oh, no. No. Okay. Yeah. Hard pass on that one. Hard pass. Okay. Getting back to the questions. I'm doing my job today, Brian. What advice would you give to ladies that want to break into this male-dominated industry?
I think just not to give up. Like, I think just keep knocking on those doors. And I know, just from stories I've heard from other people, like they just kept going, even when people are like, no, like I'm not going to take this or whatever. It's, you just got to keep knocking and keep trying. And I know it can be super disappointing for sure. Mm-hmm. But to keep doing that. And also, I think in general, with the industry being so male dominated, just like not being afraid to sell yourself. Like I know it can feel, I don't know, I guess maybe I'm speaking in generalizations, but I feel like a lot of males in the industry are really good at kind of putting themselves out there and like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like you watch that, they they have no problem doing that. Yeah, so us ladies have no problem doing it. Like, girls from the world, girls, we can do that.
Totally. So we can do it too. It doesn't matter, right? Like it's okay that for us to also be out there and trying to get people's attention and whatever, right? Like it's, yeah. And I know personally I'm more of an introvert too, so it is really hard. Like I don't like selling myself to people for sure, right? Like to
like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to.
Thing, but but yeah, but it's okay. Like we have permission to also go and do that. Yeah.
I love it. Like just don't give up and try. It'll be fun.
Don't give up and try.
Oh, I see what you did there. So Michael wants to know, what flavor of tea would you swim in?
Would I swim in? Oh my goodness. That is a hard question, Michael. What wouldn't I want to swim in?
Like,
I gotta stay on brand and say chai. Just kidding. Yes, chai for sure. My recent favorite that I bought a lot of was David's Tea's cranberry detox. It's really good. I put a ton of honey in it. I feel like it's more honey than cranberry, but you know, it's
go for it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll go with that and chai probably. Both of those.
All right.
Yeah.
Katie said black licorice.
Ooh, I don't like black licorice. That is not my thing. But that's
I'm at a hard pass on that, Katie, but you can have it.
Yeah, it's not my thing either. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. I realized, this is years ago, black licorice actually is different than the black licorice candy. Like
really?
Black tea tastes amazing. I forgot about that. It actually tastes like slightly sweet. But black licorice candy is made out of a different herb. I can't remember which one.
Oh.
I know.
Okay, so I feel like I need to get like one bag of black licorice tea to try it, because I think it was like the black licorice Twizzlers my mom would eat when I was growing up.
Yes. I don't like those either, but I did love the tea years ago when I had it. I think it was, have you ever been to an Aveda salon? The hair. Okay.
Like,
so,
I know it is, but I've been to one.
Yeah. So at Aveda salons, they give you Aveda tea, and it's licorice with mint and something else. I can't remember. They're
fancy. They have their own tea. So fancy.
They do, and it's super expensive to try to buy it online. I would know.
Like, I tried.
It's really good.
That's awesome.
So Katie, try the Aveda tea if you can track it down. It is fantastic.
Probably worth it. Worth it. So looking through your guys' Kickstarter, one, congratulations on being funded.
Thank you.
You've got 42 hours to go.
Yes.
So if anyone wants it, head over to Kickstarter. So one, the game is adorable and cute, and I'm so excited for you guys because it looks awesome. But I wanted to ask you, because I was watching all the videos, the second video where, like, how did you do all of that magic?
I have to see which one it is.
It looks like
I'm gonna pull it up too.
Oh, you know what? No, I'm sorry. The third video. Is it the third video? It's 17 seconds long, and it's like stop animation magic.
Oh,
and I was like,
the one that goes bum 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 bum, like the
yeah. I was like, yes, and I was like, I need to know how this was done because it's amazing.
Yeah, we didn't do it. We have very talented friends, honestly. So it's our friend in Sweden who did it. Yeah, and like seriously, him and his wife, like they put it together and they just like you just move one thing at a time, and then you compile it all together. It's hard. It's hard to describe, but yeah, basically like you just take so many frames of different shots and move one slight tweak every time.
Like, I'm watching it right now.
Like it would take.
And I'm like, it's very soothing to watch it.
Yeah.
Because like, especially when the little pieces move, and I'm like, how?
They are so talented, and we were, it was just amazing. And that one that we had sent them was the prototype at the time. because it's got like the glasses and everything, right? That obviously in the real game we can't ship glasses. We've got these cool things instead.
Cute.
Yeah, but they just did such amazing things with it. We were awestruck, basically.
Yeah, because it's awesome. Amanda says chai is a wonderful game.
Aww,
which I thought that was very sweet. And I had to tell you that someone said nice things.
Thank you. It's always good to hear nice things on the internet too. So.
Right? Like, you don't get that a lot. Oh my gosh, the last one I did with Wes, somebody like started making really inappropriate comments while I was doing it. And like somehow they managed to tie it into like talking about gaming and how they rolled like a D12. And I was like, ugh.
Oh no.
But like in my daytime job, I do a lot of videos and I get a lot of that during my videos, like, but worse. And like, it's just me. So I wait till I'm done and then I hide out. So like I'm used to it, but I wasn't expecting it to be like so game world specific.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, in the industry, you don't see, like, that kind of stuff that much. So, yeah.
No,
I'm sorry about your day job stuff, though. That's kind of frustrating. And
weird that I'm used to it. And at this point, like, I go to my boss and show him, and then we laugh about it, and then I hide it.
Well, it's good that you have a tough skin that way, but, like, it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't have to, but,
yeah.
Like, thank goodness. So I've had a few where they're like, for whatever reason, I have a lot of international followers on my daytime, like my stuff at work, which is weird. I work in a dealership. Why would I have international followers? But a lot of them are like, so where do you live? If I come, can I visit you? And I was like, you're blocked. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
No, but then like there's this one guy that's always like, your American accent is great. Like, you, sir, can stay because you're not creepy. You're not asking me where I live. You just think that my accent's adorable.
That's awesome. Your American accent is great.
Right. And he does the little emoji with the heart eyeballs, which
that's really sweet.
I'm like, okay. Okay. He's from England. I know he's like harmless. Like, don't worry, I stalk all these people. As soon as I hide their comment, I go and stalk them. He actually like does stuff on his page. He's a real person. Doesn't have like, one post from like 10 years ago. It's Oh, Brian says Kara had a troll. That's when you're famous. I'm not famous, but thank you.
Hey, you're like a car dealership influencer too. I mean, you're an influencer here, and then you're like an influencer in that sphere too. So there we go.
No, not even close. I love it. So I guess back to the questions after talking about how the internet's a weird place. What are you working on currently that you are most excited about?
Yeah. So T for Two, we're really excited to.
That sounds really cute.
Yeah. So it's a totally different game in the same universe. But we really refined it to make it really fun and like puzzly and harder than chai. So like, you know, the people who like want a little more meat than base chai, they get it in T for Two. So really excited about that. We have a Canadian animals game that we're working on. Yeah.
Does it have mooses?
Does it have Moses?
Mooses.
Moses. I was like, what?
We're very close to Moses, but there's an extra O. Oh my gosh, random fun story time. So I went to college in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which, like if you live in the UP of Michigan, you live farther north than than more than half of the Canadian population. But anyways, so I lived on the bottom floor of this dorm, and it's like a half a mile away from this really big, like, park that's very much like a nature reserve. And so I have a theater degree, so I'm at the theater and I'm doing my rehearsal for my show I'm doing, and I come home and the building residence guy's like, oh my gosh, guess what happened? I was like, what, dude? He was like, a moose ran into the laundry room. I was like, what? So I went and watched. This is the most amazing thing. Like, I just look down at the camera and I see this. Okay, so he shows me the video, and this moose, and you can like see him get confused. So the buildings are shaped like a U, and this is one hall, and this is one hall, and there's like a lottie here. So it got caught in this area.
Oh.
And saw it's a male one. It saw its reflection, and it was during mating season. So it got pissed and charged at its reflection in the window of the laundry room. Took out the window, but then you see the cop car coming up, trying to get it to get back, like lead it back to the park. It was amazing. We made national news.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is the best story. Wow.
So please include that in your Canadian animal game.
We will. I will take note of that. Literally right now. That's amazing.
Yeah, like that's Northern Michigan's claim to fame. A moose ran into my dorm.
I think you're more Canadian than I am. That is amazing.
So there's a lot of like Finnish people that immigrated there, and a lot of them still had that really thick Scandinavian accent. So I came home from being up there for 4 years, and I came home and it was like, it's raining out. I got to put my boots on. You're what? My boots. You're what? Boots. And it was like cold and it's snowing. Yeah, it was real thick. It was real thick for a while. And sometimes, like, if I'm like really excited and I'm talking fast, it still comes out, and I'm like, sorry, just kidding.
Hey, someone in the comments should comment on Kara's American accent right now and put the heart emoji thing.
Please. It'll be so cute.
There we go.
Okay, so tell me about your Canadian animal game.
Yeah, so I can't talk too much about it yet. It is kind of under wraps, but I will say Andrew Bosley from Everdell is working on the art, and it is amazing. The ones that he sent us are phenomenal. He did the cover, and it's just so cool. So moose, bears, salmon, like all kinds of creatures, beavers. That's all I can say. Beavers.
I'm already into this, and I'm like, oh, I need to see. It sounds amazing.
So we're really excited about that one. That's on the docket, probably in a year from now, I would say. Yeah, and then, oh my goodness, I forgot to mention my favorite. So I love food. I love tea, but I also love food. And
it's great.
Right? And my favorite food is pad thai. So we're thinking about possibly doing a little roll and write type thing with maybe some chopsticks and stuff, and pad thai like in a little takeout box. So
oh my gosh, that's so cute.
I know. So we're into like the thematic type games. So that's.
Do you guys come up with your theme before you come up with the mechanics?
Sure do. We are definitely yeah. We definitely start with theme, and then we look at what kind of makes sense in the context. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, there's all the really crazy smart people out there, I feel like, that are like, oh, I'm going to take this obscure mechanic and pair it with this theme, right? But yeah, we just don't work that way. And it doesn't seem like you do either. So
not even close. I'm like, oh, we should make a game about ice cream. And then like we found a game that's about ice cream. And
totally.
I'm like, we should do a game about cats wearing backpacks, and we're doing a game about cats wearing backpacks.
That's awesome.
Yep. So Katie has a question for you. Yes. Do you have to have chai to play chai high tea? That's a great question.
Yes. So high tea is an expansion on chai. But Tea for Two, the 2-player game coming later on, is actually independent of chai. So that one is like a standalone 2-player, I guess. But yeah, high tea. Oh, I've got the box right here.
It's so stinking cute. Oh, and it's shiny.
Oh, it is shiny.
I did not realize it was shiny when I was looking at the Kickstarter, and now I want to stare at it. It's so shiny.
And the thing is, we had asked for like regular gold, and then our manufacturer accidentally put on rose gold, and it's way better as rose gold. So we love it.
I love me some rose gold, so I'm not even mad about it.
Right?
It's so fancy.
Because we're like, well, we don't want it to be like super feminine. Like, I know I'm involved in like helping with the art director and whatever, right? But like, still, we don't want it to be like right there, feminine.
Yeah.
Right, but it's so cute. It's so
gorgeous.
It's like whatever, right? So our artist is amazing. She's local.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so she did both the art for both Base Chat. I'm just gonna grab the cover. This is a broken one, but there we go.
Oh, I love the cover of that. The chai. It just makes me want to like get a blanket and a mug and cuddle up on my couch with my kitty.
That's awesome.
That's so specific.
We've got submissions on Instagram of people who tagged us with their like chai box, and then they put their cat in it. So there we go.
I love it. Yes. And Brian asked you, how was it designing mechanics to embody a tea theme?
It is tough for sure because, I mean, as you know, right, like starting with the theme, sometimes you try a mechanic and you're like, oh, that doesn't work very well. Yeah. So one thing that we did do was we made sure that it makes sense or it's explainable. So with our pantry mechanic, we showed it to Daniel's mom, and she's not a gamer. Like, I mean, she plays card games and stuff, but not like, you know, strategic gamer. And so we got her to play it, and then we got her to try to explain it back to us. And she was like, I can't do it. And so that's when we realized, shoot, we need to like change that pantry a little bit so that it was easier to explain, because you know, like we can't just have a mechanic that's confusing, I guess, for our beginner gamers. We wanted to be approachable for anybody. But she could actually explain the market, which is theoretically actually harder, right? So then there's something wrong with that mechanic. That's when we know we got to go back to the drawing board and tweak it. So that's like, we always just kind of like try it out and the fiddle and see if that works. Sometimes we have to scrap it all together. I mean, obviously, like sometimes there's just ones that we're like, that's not gonna work. That's kind of a silly idea. So we kind of go back to the drawing board.
I feel like you'd want that to happen because you find out early rather than after you've already like produced a game that something isn't jiving as it should.
Totally. Yeah. And I think one of the things I bring in is a perspective as a special education teacher. Like I kind of see things from like, how do I make this so it's the simplest possible way of explaining something or making something flow? Because otherwise like it just gets way too confusing, right? So I know even our game design has gotten better, right? Like chai is good, but I would say like, you know, as with every game that we design, we do have different approaches and we look at it a little differently. So we make the process even better, I guess, as we go along.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love it. There you go. Figure it out as you're going.
Yes, that is a big part of it. Yeah.
No, it really is. So when you guys send a game out for play testing, how many play testers do you guys typically have play a game?
Yeah, so with Base Chai, we put it up on the internet as a free PNB, and we had 1,000 different play tests. Like, I know, it was crazy. Like, it just went all over the world. People were doing all kinds of, like, amazing things with it in their, like, after they printed it out. So after the 1,000, we were pretty confident. Like, obviously, there were people who played it multiple times. Like, it wasn't 1,000 different people, but 1,000 different play tests. So, it was really good to get their feedback. And then we just took that and we had a giant Excel spreadsheet or Google form, I guess, that they input. And then we see the spreadsheet and we take all their like different feedback and put it back into the game. So that really helps. I mean, there's so much that you can do as a designer to play test with your people here, right? But then your community takes it and just, you know, gets it out there.
I was like so impressed. It was 1,000 people. That blows my mind.
Yeah, or I should say 1,000 individual play tests. Yeah, I don't.
1,000 individual play tests. That's so many play tests.
Yeah, like, it was amazing.
So much. Oh, that's like so much information to get back to. Was it like some of it like were suggestions that you were like, not gonna take that, and some of you were like, yes, I love that, I'm doing that. Did that happen at all? Because it's 1,000.
No, I think totally. Like, I mean, you're gonna have gamers who are who want like the heavy games, right? And so they're going to make different suggestions than someone else who's like more entry level. So with Chai, we were going more for that entry level family gaming kind of thing with a bit of strategy. So, you kind of have to know what you want and then be able to take those suggestions and make the game better. As opposed to like, catering to everybody, because you can't make everybody happy. Like it just is. There's a game for everybody, but it's not every game. So,
yeah. And I feel like you would just be exhausted by trying to please everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's too many people in the world to try and please, so I'm just do my own thing.
That's like a life lesson, right? You just
yeah. Share that with your students.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll quote you. Kara the blonde unicorn says, "You can't
just
please
yourself." You. Even if that means that you're a unicorn.
Exactly. Exactly.
So funny. I'm extra. I apologize for that. All right. Well, thank you so much, Connie, for talking to me. I've had so much fun with you. I definitely hope that we get to do this again because that has been delightful. Do you have anything you want to plug before I let you go?
Sure. Yeah. So obviously, as you mentioned, Kara, the high tea expansion and also our reprint is on Kickstarter right now.
I'm putting the link to the Kickstarter in the comments.
Perfect. You're so on it. So it's on there right now. We've got 42, I think. I can't do math right now. 42, 41-ish hours left. So we're kind of just like on edge, like trying to get it all done. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So geez. It just like jumped a whole lot. I just like scrolled up to see how many hours, and then I just see the money going.
Yeah, so it's all kind of happening, which is really exciting, and you can kind of see like the curve of like people supporting like go up because it's the final stretch, right? So yeah, so it's all happening. So yeah, if anybody is interested, like in a family, like strategic kind of game, like Chai's your thing, and come join us in our community as well on Facebook. We've got 2,000 people, I think now.
Nice.
Yeah, so we've got lots of support in there, and they're like every day people are posting different teas and things that they find on the internet relating to tea, and it's so exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then, yeah, I guess the final thing too, our artists are just amazing. So like I showed Mary's art, but Sahana is our other artist. Oh, I wish I had the cards. I don't think I do. Oh, no, I do.
Hi, Isaac. Thanks for joining. So,
oh, I'm holding them upside down, aren't I?
But it was so pretty upside down.
Yeah. So here's we showed these off yesterday in a live. But these are our parents, so we're showing them for Father's Day. This is my mom and dad, and then Daniel's dad and Daniel's mom, who's a piano player.
Oh my gosh, these are the cutest things ever.
Yeah,
so cute.
Our talented artist Sahana, she's from India, and she is just amazing. Actually, I found the card of her. She did an auto, what's it called? Self-portrait. That's the word.
So she's gorgeous,
right? And
she's so pretty.
It's just so cool. So anyway, the art is really fun. So if you love really beautiful art, come check out Chai. That's all.
I love it. Well, Facebook, go over to Kickstarter, check out Chai High Tea. Keep your eye out for Tea for Two. Maybe join the Facebook group so you see when it's coming. And thank you so very much for joining me for episode 15 of Ladies in Tabletop. And we will talk to you next time. Bye, Facebook.
Bye.